Hello, everyone, and welcome back to building a web application from scratch. My name is Matt, and in this video, we're going to finish up setting up our NestJS server. So if you're following along in the project management software, you can see that we have our task here, and our last subtask here is creating our health check API. So that's what we're going to tackle today. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's go ahead and open up our IDE. I'm using cursor, so that's what I'm going to open here. We can see we're in our app module. So to create our API, what we're going to do is, since we're creating a health check, there's actually a library inside of NestJS that allows us to handle health check based actions. So while we're creating a simple health check today, if we ever wanted to expand this, we'd want to use this library. It's called Terminus. And so that's what we're going to go ahead and use, right? Just to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for growth. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm in my Nest server directory, and I'm going to say npm install at NestJS Terminus. It's going to install that package. Alrighty. And so then the next thing we want to do is we're going to create a health module and controller. So if you're interested in learning more about what controllers and modules are, you can always look it up on the Lancer blog, right? Our my site's blog, but you can also just Google it as well. It'll give you all the information you need. I'm not going to cover that in a ton of detail here. This is more about how to create it, less about the foundational aspects of programming. So what we're going to head and do is we're going to say nest generate module health. This is going to create our health module. And you can see that showed up. We did the same thing with our database as well in our last video. And then we're going to say nest generate controller health. Call it the same, and it's going to automatically create that inside of that health directory. So you see here, and if we go to health module, you can see that that health controller is already imported as well. So next, let's just go to our health controller and let's create our route. So what we're going to say is we're going to say import. We're going to import our health check and our health service here. And then we're going to export our health controller. It's already created for us, and we're going to create our constructor. We're going to say private health check service. We're going to create a get call. So we need to import get inside our component, or inside of our common library up there. So now inside of our health controller class, what we can do is we're going to say at get. So we're saying this is a get call. It's going to be the standard get call. We're not going to name it, right? It's going to be just called health. We're going to say at health check to leverage that health check service. And we're going to call that check function. And we're going to say return this dot health check. Oh, we don't want that. Health check. And we're going to say async. We're going to make a asynchronous call. Say app status up. And close all that out. So let's see, what doesn't this like about that? We definitely don't want this bracket there. There we go. Okay. Little typo. So we're just calling an async function to essentially, when we call health, it's going to say app start up if our application is running. So then we want to go over to our application module. We want to make sure that we have our our health module. I'm going to go to our health module, and we're going to import this terminus here, and we're then going to make sure that that is imported. right? So we need to import that for everything to work. Export class health module. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start our application. So we're going to say npm run start dev. Let this boot up. While it's going, let's look at our app module and make sure that that's all there, right? So you can see automatically our health module has been imported into our app module. Alrighty, Nest application is started. Our server's running on port 3000 in development mode. Our database is connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to use another tool called Postman. So you can go ahead and install this tool. If we go to, let's go Postman. It's an API platform. It allows for you to make API requests, right? Troubleshoot, do things like that. So go ahead and install this tool. We're going to need it. And so inside of here, right, I've logged in, I've got my account, I've logged in here. I'm going to create a new workspace. I'm going to call this what's got for collections. We're just going to create a blank workspace. Next, our name, we're going to call it to do app. Internal, only you and invited people, create. So, okay, we got a new workspace here. So our first collections, let's go ahead and add a collection, and we're going to say blank collection. And we're going to call this health APIs. All right. And let's add a request. So we got a get request here. So inside of here, we're going to say HTTP localhost, our port number 3000 health. And let's see what we get back. So let's go ahead and send. And there you go. You can see status okay, info, app status up, no errors, details, app status up. So this is what Terminus automatically formatted for us, right? So using this Terminus package, we're able to structure our health checks in a particular way. So say we had a particular endpoint that did multiple checks, like we had an overall health endpoint that checked database connectivity, our application, it would list our info, our errors, it's just a nice way to structure all this stuff. But there you go. Short and simple, but it's effective and it works. So we're able to create our health endpoint, call it using Postman, so using our API call, and get that response back. So coming back to our code, we don't have anything else we need to add, but looking at this controller, let's just review it one more time. Right, so we imported our health check services from Terminus. We then are creating our health, constructor here. And then so we're running that Terminus check to say our app is up whenever our app is successfully running. So let's actually maybe go ahead and close this down and run it again. See what we get. Cannot send request. So we have an error. And that's because our server is not on. So working correctly. And, that's the basis for creating our health API. I hope this was helpful. We've actually successfully finished our setting up our NestJS server. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this, save. And we're going to move this over to completed. I'll mark that as complete. So first task down, on to the next one. So I think in the next one, what we're probably going to do is we're going to move over to setting up our data. Actually, let's go ahead and look our epics. So setting up our project, let's view this. So we've got setting up our NestJS server, enable basic security and logging, setting up our collection. So I think in the next one, we're probably going to start with setting up our MongoDB collections and getting our data structured. So a really exciting part and a very fundamental aspect of creating our web applications. So thanks for listening. Again, I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.